Hello and welcome to another Making Monday. Uh, Today we have Connor Root for our part two of our conversation. We had a great conversation about nutrition and supplementation yesterday, and today we're going to transition to the mechanical aspects of working out.
Oh, great, great. Thank you for having me on,
And
Stephen.
thank you for volunteering your time. It's always appreciated when the seniors come out the little senior holder in and talk about things they care about. So, we spoke a good part about kind of building the habits of nutrition and understanding what to do with certain things. Now, we didn't speak too much about the really important things of working out, which are the actual working out itself, the the range of motion, all that when you're doing an exercise. Mind my dog in the back. He's getting some fitness in by chasing his own tail. So, Roop, there's this concept that I think every athlete in weightlifting or any sport, they really talk about it a lot, but it feels so far-fetched even to someone like me when I try explaining it to people. So far it seems like I'm just grasping for anything in my sight. It is the mind muscle connection. You're going to hear it a lot in weightlifting, you're going to hear it a lot in bodybuilding, you're going to hear it a lot in fitness. And you're going to hear it a lot in yoga too. What would you define as this mind muscle connection?
So, for you and all of our listeners, I would like us to just take a minute and sit with good posture. And you can feel around your body how your legs are pressed into the floor. Your heels are right under your knees there about, and you're pushing down, and then you got some tension in your legs. You feel it in your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings. Your knees are pushed out a little bit to really make sure that you're activating your glutes. You're bringing that energy up to your core, and your core is where all of your strength is. If you don't have a strong core, you're not strong. And it's not about pushing out or sucking it in, but it's more about creating your own weight belt. The new college gym provides weight belts for those who would like to do lifts, and there's a good measure for that. But I think it's important to be able to maintain a good core tension such that you can maintain healthy posture, maintain some spine health that you see a lot of older folks tend to lack over time. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to bring that up your spine. Yeah. Some coaches will like to yell, chest up, and it works for some people. I think that is a helpful cue. I think whatever it is that helps people connect, um, how their body is going to move in coordination with the weights so that they can be as efficient and healthy and safe as possible. And what I think this is really important to get through is that your time in the gym is going to be a lot more fun if you have good form. You're going to be grinding through it, whatever it is, fast, slow, whatever you got to do, whatever sport you got to do, but you're in the zone per se. Whereas you're going to have some Bambi moments on ice when you're starting out, and that's okay, and you're gonna have that for years.
100%. So I've actually been lifting for a shorter period of time than Connor, and I feel like I would say I'm starting at 2018 October, so I just finished my second year. I'm now starting my third year of kind of strength training, weight training, resistance training, whatever you want to call it. But how and people view this connection differently and achieve it differently. Now, I want to talk about to me and my personal journey about it is that I close my eyes. I'm mentally talking to a muscle group. So when I flex that muscle group, so if I'm doing an isolated movement, now Connor was talking about more compound movement, squats, deadlifts, where you're incorporating the whole body and you have to be really in tune with everything. The core has to be strong. You have to be activating, hamstrings, glutes. All I don't want to name one muscle because I mess it up. But you really have to be as kind of holistic in your approach. You are getting your entire body ready. Now I want to shift it to how because I'm mostly trained isolation, is what do you do? And I always tell people, if you're starting to work out, group might get different advice now. You do high reps. That way, because the more you do something, the more comfortable you are doing it, the more you can adjust it. But when you're talking about that mind muscle connection, it is exactly which muscle group you are targeting. And every time you flex, your mind is talking to that muscle group and it's talking back. Now, for some people, arms and biceps may be really easy because we use those a lot. Now, if you want to, you're doing a lat pull down, it's really hard to know if you're actually activating your lat. And it takes years. And I think quote my friend Daje, who said, yeah, working out back is working out arms until you know how to work out back. And it's a muscle that I don't think any of us, unless you're a swimmer now, this is not really for you, but if you're new to the gym, know what a lat activation feels like. But once you do enough reps, you might get there, and then you can cling on to it, and you can keep talking to that muscle group and understanding what movements work for you. So that's my main approach to mind muscle connection. I do the root approach when I'm doing squats and deadlifts or more compound movements, and kind of get this whole body feeling, this uncompromising total war with what we're going, and we're using that. It's the name of the pre-workout I got. And this, not sponsored yet. Right. So just moving in that zone is essential. Roop, you got any comment on that?
I think that, something that we could all use, since we're all spending so much time sitting and connecting to that lack activation problem that you're bringing up. I think we all need to just take a minute, pull your shoulders back, take them down, and then give yourself a hug. Just kind of wrap them around yourself. You're hugging yourself with your back, and then you'll feel your lats right there. And that's how you want to do all of your lifts. Like, unless you have your hold yourself in another way, but IEO, you're going to be in the strongest position like this.
Yep. And posture is really important. And then it's the technical part. What is a good solid range of motion? Now I'm gonna plug bodybuilding.com. They have videos that aren't complete workout videos. So you like a move, you see somebody doing a type of move, and they have the video. You can press play, and they'll have a person who's a fitness professional demonstrate how that range of motion works. Now, does that mean it's going to be exactly the same for you? No, but there is this general feel of where you should be. Some moves you kind of have to do it really correctly, and some moves it's depending on how your body feels and reacts to what you're doing. If you're doing a bicep curl, there's just really only one way to do a bicep curl.
No.
I mean, like one way of doing a straight bicep curl. You know what I mean? Like if you can rotate your arm, but I'm not. If someone's doing a bicep curl like this, then I'm gonna be very concerned. Let me just do this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's the King Kong. That's not really the bicep curl. So, there are many different moves, and you're gonna have that moment where you try something new at the gym, and you're gonna feel stupid. Like whenever I Jefferson squat, which is a squat where, see, what I'm talking about, is where I open my legs wide like this, and I have the bar between my legs, and I reach around and I lift, and the bar hits my butt. And every time I do it, somebody laughs. It's a good move, but you're gonna look funny. And sometimes, and there's that. Do I really want to do this move? Do I really want to do a hip thrust? Do I want to look like I'm having intercourse with the air? These are all questions, that as a beginner, you kind of have to ask ourselves, but is it worth it to you?
Do the hip thrust. Don't do the Jeffersons if you're a beginner.
Okay, do the hip thrust. Don't do I was giving a personal example. Roof, that's a little comedy here, a little commentary. Moments where you felt really dumb in the gym while you were trying something out.
Oh, I mean, I remember I had someone who wanted to show me how to do some Olympic lifting, right? And that's when you put the bar over your head, or you get it from the floor to neck or over your head to some degree. And the first time I took it up, I kind of just kept going back, and then all of a sudden I fell backwards with the bar here, and I could have gotten a concussion or something like that. That was very scary, and that
You
was
had a
one of
lot of
those moments
cushion as
where I was
well.
like, you got to realize that when you're trying to develop motions, especially with that level of technical precision, it's best to be light, be careful, have good supervision. That's part of going back to our part one. We have a community, and when you see someone who has that perfect form that makes it look so easy, you need to ask them and be like, hey, if you're willing, help you, help me be that good.
Yeah, and it's all about we have at staff level a great amount of fitness expertise. Talking about Colin and Jordan, you have fitness people who are enthusiasts who are really into fitness. Rolando Tate's really into calisthenics and full body workouts. Um, we have a really good, diverse, and staff when it comes to the types of sports we engage in. Jr. with martial arts, Colin with stand strength training, let's say Rolando with calisthenics, me with just being a dumbass. These are dumb butt can't cuss on this podcast. Um, these are things that there are different branches to this tree, and self exploration is really awesome. So I'm gonna have to plug in our gym now. Sorry, Ruby, that's part of the job. When you come into the NCF Fitness Center and you are just starting out, you are daunted by the amount of moves and all of that, you can contact us and get a program that's completely machine based. What that means is the machine has the instructions on the side of it, and you are able to execute every necessary move to build some sort of foundation. Then you can, after maybe 3 weeks to a month of constant and steady training, begin to diverge and mix free and machine-based training in our facility, giving you the comfortable feeling you had, but also pushing you further. There's a quote that I think applies to a lot of different things in life. There is comfort in discomfort, and you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I messed up the quote. I really did, but that was what I last
Okay.
part was
Okay.
comfort with discomfort. You must get used to pushing yourself in a zone where you feel maybe I'm not, maybe this, all those maybes, and push that. Because outside fitness, that is a mental pusher that's going to drive you in so many different aspects of your life, your career, lifestyle choices, and all that. Roop and I have been training since a while together. I would say mostly in summer, and we've learned the different branches. Um, and I think one thing I really learned from Roop was focusing on range of motion, understanding that when you do a move correctly, it catalyzes your progress. And I want Roop to talk about this range of motion, this doing a full extension, where he got this philosophy from and how it's helped him.
Okay, well, I'll just be very vulnerable here so that everyone else can feel comfortable. When I was a wee lad, I used to do these things called rup ups, right? And it was a push up, but my form was just trash. I had my elbows up here. I was doing like this weird shoulder press thing, and I wasn't making the progress that I wanted. And I was really just realizing how, without a consideration for the form and how that is integral to the range of motion, is how you're going to progress. I think one thing I wanted to add, and this will connect to the range of motion issue, is sweet buttery biscuits, connecting your ability to push through to your form. If you don't have good form, you can't push because you're not in a position where your central nervous system is capable of being able to go, I understand that this is the most efficient way for me to move this, and my body is ready to do this. And when it comes to range of motion issues, I think that there are some other halves of exercises that folks miss, and that's the eccentric, the lowering of the weight. And why that's so important is that if you only throw the weight up and then just let it fall, you're cheating yourself. And you're going to be a lot safer. You're going to develop a lot more, and you're going to be able to do things, especially in the beginning, with more intention if you focus on that. So, especially when imagine when you're putting the weights down, you're putting it down on eggs. You don't want to break the eggs. You got to be that careful with it. You don't have to be, micrometer about it, but that'll help you a long way.
Mm-hmm. And since we're talking about it, there was this moment that really, I would say, was back in Lebanon and first started squatting and really trying to get into fitness. I did not know how to do a freestyle squat. Talking about no weight on my back, not my shoulder really, or my neck. I hopped right into this bar. Put the bar on my neck, and it was bad. I had 4 guys leave what they were doing to to come talk to me about, hey, what do you do? Just complete like, and someone called my dad. I'm not. This is why I don't like Lebanon. And they said, why don't you train your son? This is embarrassing. So being a little too confident, I said I'm gonna do everything, and that was, and I didn't stop, and I felt like stupid for a couple of days, but know where you are. And that's what I'm saying, We all had a Steven squat or a rup push up, but the thing is, don't rupture anything. Haha, sorry. Such a death. And that's the lesson today. This is a short episode. It's past finals week, really preparing for the holiday season. I'm going to say the 3 things I want you to remember from this podcast and want you to know in general about this stuff. And then Connor's going to hit you with 3 stuff, and we're going to wrap it up for today. And if you like Connor, just let me know. I got great feedback on the first episode. Thank you, Connor. I want to talk about the 3 things that I think you should understand. Is that we're all a beginner at one point. We cannot think of the 2 things. Take your time when it comes to building that mind-muscle connection. You won't you won't be able to talk to all your muscles, and there'll be frustration with that. But that's okay. It's not like reading a book. It's like writing a book. It takes time. It takes pages to be removed and rewritten when it comes to understanding that. The last tool, still have fun. As we get more complicated and we add more things, it becomes more technical, but you have to enjoy your workout. So build it around something you enjoy and build it around something that you can feel help you improve. Connor?
All right, I'll try to shoot out 3 things here. So, warm up specific to how you're going to train. So when I want to do things with the barbell, I'm going to warm up with the barbell. Like, I'm not going to put weight on it, but I'm going to do some motions. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to work on my form, and I'm going to get warm that way. Instead, so like I'm not going to go sprint and stretch if I'm trying to go pick something up. That's not specific to my goals. A second thing is get the rest of yourself in check, because power lifters have a knack for this, and that's being like, everything is about weight on the bar, not health. So don't do that. Make sure you got your sleep, your health, your grades in. You're going to be a lot better in the gym if you don't have those other stresses preventing you from accomplishing your goals. And third thing is make sure you build a community, even if it's just a few people. It's good to have a good little network of workout partners, so that you got someone there who's to keep you accountable, to help you with your form, to check you out, make sure you can push yourself without feeling like you're endangering yourself.
Yes, and that is awesome advice. Last thing, stress the last podcast. This little nesting community is one, and you want to make sure it's one that's healthy to you. Connor has been a really good advocate and friend. So have my friends Vic, Femi, Daje, Mary. I mean, this goes on and on. Mary, Daje, I said those names already, but I mumbled them. People that understand where you are and will push you when they know you are giving 100%, rather than saying, go ahead, it's your first time deadlifting, do 300 pounds, which I've had with other groups, and I'm not going to name who they are. And I've actually done the 300 pounds, and I've gone back home and laid in my bed for 3 days because my back hurt. But there's, whatever sport you use, but also get friends that push you to do different things. Roop, did I squat before I knew you frequently?
I mean, not enough
That's right. Do I do enough when I'm hanging out with you and working out with you?
on leg day.
Yeah. Do I do it when I'm not hanging out with Roop? No. So, and the same thing can go about cardio, right? Right, Roop?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we
buddy,
all
you
know
gotta make
that
sure you
big.
take care of your heart health. Heart health is very important, guys. Make sure you go
Yeah,
for
heart health is really important. You gotta train hard and eat clean. Especially when it comes to the heart stuff. All right, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section on YouTube, Facebook, or email me at skeshishan@ncf.edu. I have two NCF EDUs. I'll respond to NCF emails. Oops, I'll respond to either of them. That's really it. I don't want to give out Roop's information because he's not getting paid to do any of this stuff. So if you have questions for Roop, let me know. And if Roop can answer them and I can't, I'll ask him. But I much rather keep it where we're not in the. I responded to an email last week saying I'm not in the volunteer business when someone asked me to do something. I don't want to put Roop in the volunteer business. Thank you so much. Any parting words, Roop?
Oh man, if anyone has a question about powerlifting specifically, you can ask me. That's the only thing that I know that Steven doesn't necessarily know. Everything else he's got pretty down well. Darn well, darn well. I hope I didn't ruin it.
Is this made for kids? Maybe. All right. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye, y'all.
Bye.